What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. How's your Monday so far? Interesting day today. Quite a little bit of volatility, even though not exactly direction, but volatility for sure. There was movements to the upside and to the downside, depending on which asset you were trading. Big momentum on the US indices, breaking new all-time highs, or continue to get that momentum into the upside, especially S&P and the Dow, and Nasdaq now getting really close to potentially new all-time highs. Again, it was a bank holiday in Canada and in the US. It was the Columbus Day. So usually with the US, with the bank holidays, we usually see a little bit of lack of volatility and price tends to just range. But other times we actually see these kind of moves because there's maybe less participants in the market. If someone just starts trading with big sizes, there's no one to kind of go against those positions, and you see the big moves and the big green and red candles happening all over the charts. In reality is that we haven't really got any direction. Maybe that tomorrow is going to start happening. So not really any news today. We had a few Fed members speaking, and again, it was bank holiday. Tomorrow we start with the news. We have quite a few data being released in the UK. We start with unemployment, then we have a CPI on Wednesday, and then you have retail sales on Friday. This is in UK. Tomorrow we have CPI also in Canada, so that's going to be interesting. We're going to follow and look at some Canada pairs, our Canada pairs, and then we have ECB on Thursday. Like ECB is going to be the big one for this week. And again, in terms of the US, not really many news aside from some key 3 earnings seasons that are going to be released as well throughout this week. So looking at the charts at this point, this is what we have, right? So it was another continuation to the upside at this point from what you can see on the dollar. Like it looks like that you're going to have another bullish daily candle, and you're getting even more closer to the levels that we've been looking for, right? So initially we had the reaction still within the supply, but we're looking for price to go slightly higher, and can even go, right? And we keep tracking, right? This is the moment where if you do have patience, this is the moment that you can start tracking a price, because eventually you are going to have that turn. And in my opinion, this can be a not easy, but a realistic target that you can aim for whenever we have the turn. All right, so for price to go back into this level, to which we go below these lows, even though we still have a little bit of a zone in there on the dollar index, I do believe that then you can go almost immediately towards there. Maybe you can have some kind of reaction from here, and then price will just move to the downside. So that's a little bit of the play that I've been following and waiting for price to eventually provide me that entry, which again, I don't really trade dollar index, and the trades that you're going to be looking for is more on euro dollar, pound dollar, maybe Aussie dollar, and so on. Like it's going to be in regards to the dollar pairs, where I'm going to try to look for price to fill this range, but on the opposite side, since I'm looking for the euro dollar, pound dollar, and so on, as I mentioned. Right. So now, from where am I expecting to see that move to happen? Now we did manage to fake out already these highs. All right, so that high is taken. I was looking for price to go even slightly higher, and at least towards this zone in here. So that's one of the levels that I'll be looking for price to go slightly higher. All right, price is kind of reacting from this level. I would like to see price going a little bit more to the upside before the turn, and again, that can happen tomorrow morning with the London Open. All right, I could see that happening in here with the London Open. Again, price got really, it initially had a really strong move to downside in here, but it just respected this next structure. That basically it was the demand zone that created this break to the upside. Price respected it, so it basically cleaned the order, even though it may have not really touched it. So there's maybe a few orders in here that price could use and then push downside, being this an engulf to the downside. So basically price breaking this low, so opens the door to go further down, but because this value is still fresh, so price can bounce from here and then find whatever level is going to be there and then move to the downside from here. Then it can bounce again a little bit from this level, then use this level as a continuation to the downside in here, basically a demand becoming eventually a supply, and just continue to the push to the downside, eventually getting closer to this target that we are looking for in here on the dollar index. So that's the play I will be looking for in here. Okay, so again, price has been printing bullish daily candles for quite a while now, since the beginning and basically the end of September that we have been just moving to the upside. Tomorrow is going to be already today is 14, so tomorrow is already 15. So it's kind of about time to have a little bit of retracement. It's not that often that you just see price, in this case a currency pair, just moving in one direction so many days in a row. So that's what I'll be looking for in here on the dollar. Again, can be from here, all right, can be from somewhere where it is right now, or can be a little bit more to the upside. It's just about to identify the pair. I'm not going to take any trade right now on the dollar, so hopefully it's going to be in a good level tomorrow morning for the US, for the London Open, sorry. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in here. Is this the high? Who knows? We do have liquidity already. I really like this liquidity, so this is already in place as well. All right, so we already have these highs, so this could already be the high, to be honest. All right, because we already had these highs in here. We had a double top, price now fake out at double top, and this could be the high, but again can still create an extra high. But this liquidity is something that I really like to see. All right, basically price created this range, we have these lows, price make the move to the downside. As you can see, price already retested this level again, now fakes out the highs, and we are getting really close to that term. All right, that's kind of what we call it, a reversal pattern here being created. And yes, can be from here, or it can go a little bit more to the upside, moving to the downside. And then, as you know, as I mentioned, we have a clear target that I'm looking for, and this is when you can start looking for a potential bigger target in here, right? So 1 second, so just delete this. Basically from somewhere around this level we are going to be able to look for something, short position, yeah, like whatever the high is going to be created, we'll wait for some confirmation, and they're going to be able to look for something like this. All right, so that's the setup we are going to be looking for, depending on where this high is going to be created. At this point, if it was from here, something like this could be reasonable. So at least around the 7.1, can even be more, depending on where price is. As the more price goes to the upside, the better, because the risk reward is going to be even bigger. Thinking that I'm looking for this target in there on the dollar. But again, can be from here or can be slightly higher in there. All right, moving along, we have the indices. So US indices, in this case S&P with momentum. It finally create that momentum in here. So initially broke the highs, create a bit of a range, create new highs, range a little bit, and today it was literally a momentum day. And this actually, I think it has been quite often that we have seen during these bank holidays or on Monday, to see a momentum, right? To see price actually gaining momentum into these all-time highs, and then throughout the week we are going to see some retracements in here. So now let price go. We have a little bit of this structure. This is something that we can start tracking in here, and we'll see eventually where price is going to go towards to, and this becomes at this point a little bit of the target. There's a little bit of space being created in here, and this is the target that we are going to be looking for eventually. All right, so again, keep tracking of the levels that are still fresh, that price is leaving behind, because that eventually can work as a target. But for now, price can still react from something in here. All right, so that's something that we can still look for price to react from and continue to the upside until eventually creates a little bit of weakness, and eventually can have the turn. So nothing much to talk about in here on the S&P, because price is at all-time highs. Nasdaq is getting closer. So initially had that reaction that we talked about in here, and now price kind of retraced, now continue to the upside again. Not really a low being broken at this point, so it's important to start noticing those lows being broken. Otherwise we may just continue to go higher. Again, this is the decision point in here that was created after the break, right? After the break of this high, price created this structure, price went there, respected, and now moving to the upside again. So that's interesting, in alignment to this previous level of support resistance, and we are getting closer and closer and closer to those highs in here on the left. Right, so again, we may have a reaction from somewhere around here, or eventually can have a reaction from there, or eventually can have new all-time highs. Okay, so those are a few of the levels in here to pay attention to. But aside from the levels on the left, we need to see some weakness being created on the, we need to see some weakness being created All right. This. All right. Back to this. So that's what we're going to be looking for in here on the Nasdaq. Weakness is breaking lows, right? You're starting to see price at least through testing the lows, to at least to react from the demand and clean the orders from the demand level, or eventually to break the lows. And at this point, yes, I would like to see price still moving a little bit more to the upside, at least to take this high, getting a little bit more closer to that other level in there. Dow also just continues, as you can see, it respected perfectly still this level and then just moved to the upside. It had broken these highs first. That was a nice move, and again, it looks like it's continued to go and breaking the all-time high, so nothing much to talk about in there. And then you had DAX, which also moved to the upside, and I think we actually mentioned this one yesterday or last week, the potential setup of price respecting the extreme. All right, so there was still orders in there, as you can see in here on my mark. That's basically levels that I'm expecting price to react from. But then price just filled the space that was available, which was this low in here, right? Basically this next structure, this demand zone that made this push to the upside. And the reason for that is actually because of what I mentioned last week. When I saw price respecting perfectly this demand zone, I mentioned that it would be risky to look for sales at the highs, or at least to have the expectation for price to make a move like this. I was not expecting this because price literally went up, respected the origin of that move, the demand zone that made this move to the upside. There is no break, right? Price didn't break the lows, price didn't came here, which means that the bullish momentum, there was a high probability that will create new all-time highs from here. And then what we have is that price continued to move to the upside and didn't really manage to break any structure. So it respected this one, didn't even reach this one, then created this one, and price respected it in there. So there was no engulf to the downside on the way up. And now we have new all-time highs as well on the DAX. So that's another one that we can start paying attention to see if this is going to be just a small fake out or eventually creating momentum to the upside as well, right? So again, this is the next structure that you need to pay attention to, and we do have that demand zone that basically managed to break the most recent high and the all-time high as well. So those are just a few levels. Start breaking below this level, then you can start looking again for potential shorts in here. All right, otherwise it's not going to happen. So this could be one of the scenarios. If prices keep respecting this level, then price could continue to move to the upside from here. Right, this is just a hypothetical scenario on the DAX. A crypto, right? Crypto, great momentum that we've seen in here on Ethereum and Bitcoin, basically with respect to that level that we talked about yesterday, and it just continues. So this level was taken in there, and this was the other extreme, right? With the potential to even go higher. Interesting enough, of Bitcoin and Ethereum have been so bullish in the last few days. Let's see if this is the moment that's going to gain momentum or not. Like, I'm not really sure what's the catalyst that is behind this bullish momentum on Ethereum. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't know if this already the consequence of potentially the Trump winning the elections or not. I think that's maybe too early still to find out about that. But yeah, who knows what's happening in here. But the reality is that really great move in Ethereum as well. It respected perfectly those lows. So that's basically the last level in here, in my opinion, that could hold price to the upside. It respected perfectly, and now price moving upwards. We actually had already a break in here to the upside, to be honest, and now price filling the range into this next structure in there. So that's interesting enough. Ethereum is also creating a lot of momentum in here. I don't really like any of these highs, so I'd like to see when Ethereum continue to push more to the upside in here. And now looking at the currency indices, right? Looking at the Euro Index, which is going to be one of the main important assets, in my opinion, to look at, especially on Wednesday in anticipation for Thursday with the ECB. So again, at this point, it's still within this range. I want to see some more direction or some bias in here on the Euro Index for Thursday. So we'll see if you're going to get this momentum to the downside, or if you're going to break some kind of highs in here. That's going to start looking a bit more bullish. Again, we already broke that high there, so it's something to bear in mind. But it's still early. My focus is going to be mostly on Wednesday to see where we're going to be at on this one. Then look for trades on Thursday for the ECB. in here. And then you have the yen index, which just broke that low. All right, so it slightly broke that low that we had in there. We talked about this one, the potential continuation to the downside on the yen pairs. We kind of needed to break some highs. We didn't manage to break that one. That was a perfect reaction in there as well. And now we have a continuation to the downside, which we'll see. We'll see if just a small fake out and price goes higher, or price finally is going to feel some of this price in here, right? And if that happens, then you are looking for more longs across the yen pairs, euro yen, pound yen, Aussie yen, perhaps even dollar yen as well, and so on. Even though on the dollar, eventually I'm looking for a short, so maybe dollar yen can be ranging a little bit. If you have kind of a weak yen and kind of a weak dollar as well, all of a sudden you have dollar yen just ranging. But again, continuation to the downside, that's basically the bias that we have been looking for in here. So we did manage to break below these lows. So let's see what's going to happen next. If eventually, if price does want to go higher from here and just kind of fake out and goes higher, we kind of need to see at least some structure being broken, perhaps this trend line or some structure around this level as well, before looking for those potential reversals in here. Otherwise, again, this yen index actually, it really likes to go to the extreme, respect the level, and then move to downside. It looks like it's about to break some structure, but then it just respects it and goes down. So we actually need to see that confirmation happening. Otherwise, price may just respect the extreme and turn around in here. But that's going to be interesting to look at for the yen in the yen pairs. Now, looking at the individual currency pairs, and guys, let me know in the comments what pairs are you looking for, and if you like me to look at specific asset for you. So feel free to comment to let me know. All right, euro dollar, so just continues to move to downside. Right, so similar to the dollar index, as dollar index is moving upwards, the euro dollar moving to downside. Again, you mentioned that we respected this high in here, so it didn't really manage to break to the upside. The same way that I'm looking eventually for that target at the lows on dollar index, that target on euro dollar is going to be somewhere around here. All right, that will be eventually the target that I'll be looking for when you do have the turn to the upside, but bear in mind that we do need to break first this structure in here as well. All right, this structure in here can perhaps still hold price. Looking a bit more to the left side, we do still have this level, potentially can hold price. Otherwise, if you start breaking below this, then you can have a little bit more of momentum. All right, so there is the potential of a potential retracing here, or a potential momentum, or a third scenario is we actually break below it, show indication that you want to go lower, but before we continue to the downside, we actually have a reversal or retrace in here on the euro dollar. So we break the low and then we turn, give indication that it wants to go lower, but first we go higher, and maybe the move to downside can happen on Thursday as a continuation of this bearish move on the euro. So those are a few scenarios to pay attention to in here. Again, hopefully tomorrow morning around the London Open, you're going to have some good PI to look for. That's going to be my focus, and hopefully the bottom is not created, or is not going to be created during the Asian session, as sometimes it happens. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for a potential turn. Again, target's going to be somewhere in there, and it depends on the type of PI that you're going to have in here. Yeah, to be honest, I may prefer a little bit more the levels on dollar index than on euro dollar, but we'll see. Like, we'll see. Respecting this low is more of a play, to be honest, for the future. If you do break it, in my opinion, then we go further down, which again can happen perhaps throughout the week, maybe on Thursday with ECB. If we respect the level and start moving to the upside, then you can have actually even a deeper retracement from here. Yeah, that's basically my take in here. On dollar, we talked about this one as well. I think it was yesterday that there was perhaps still something around this level within this gap below these lows that price could react from, and that demand zone was still fresh. Price respected, and now we have a new level that is fresh in here, which is basically this level that price can still react one more time. And price has been ranging in here, pound dollar, for quite a lot of time. Tomorrow we have unemployment at 7 AM in the morning in the UK, so we may start seeing some momentum finally to move away from this level, right? Either to the upside or the downside, we'll see. We are still respecting this low. So if you do hold that level, then you start aiming potentially for price fill out this range as well, and then can even go higher, right? But now it's been literally moving to downside or kind of a little bit in this range for quite a few days at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see. And yes, this is still a kind of a fresh order in there. You still need to break some proper highs in here as well on the pound dollar. So we'll see what's going to happen in here. Another one that we can perhaps look at this week is the euro pound, right? Because it's going to be a week specific with a lot of news in the UK, and then you have the ECB. So it's going to be a week where you can see some divergence across the pound dollar and euro dollar, which can benefit euro pound if you are by any chance interested in trading euro pound, right? Again, euro pound 90% of the time is in a range, right? As you can see in here. But every now and then we do have those momentums, those moments of volatility momentum in the market, and usually they happen around these moments where we have specific news for one specific of those currencies, and tomorrow we have unemployment in UK, so that can help in here the euro pound. Again, you do have this demand zone in there. We are reacting from that level on the left side. Don't forget that you have these lows. Yes, price could even create a new low, to be honest, but at this point this is still a valid demand zone in here. But we are within this range, so we'll see what's going to happen. Perhaps we can react from there and push to the upside again and even go into that zone. And if there any chance euro pound wants to go higher, then pound dollar actually it would want to go lower eventually. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind in here on the euro pound tomorrow. Then we have Aussie dollar. Again, a double bottom. I still don't really like these lows. To be honest, I would still prefer to see price going a little bit more into this structure before the turn. Now we have a lot of structure here. We didn't really manage to break this high neither. All right, so we didn't manage to break that. So I would like to see something like that happening, with price getting a little bit more closer into this level. And this can actually be a continuation, to be honest. Price could even just continue, because this low may not even be that relevant at this point in here. All right, we actually managed to break this structure, so this low may not even be that important. As a continuation to the downside, I was looking for price to get a little bit closer to this level, which we haven't really gone there, so we'll see. Right, but that's perhaps the zone as well that could see some kind of reaction in here. So yeah, basically I'm not really interested in anything within this range on the Aussie dollar. I want price to spike a little bit more to the either to the downside or to the upside to look for something. And for longs I'm at least a little bit further down in there. New Zealand, it's another one that we've been looking for. So we had that demand zone, we talked about it as well. Price got a little bit closer to this level. Again, New Zealand's another one that I like the idea of seeing price going a little bit more to the downside before turning. We just broke this important low. This perhaps could be a continuation to the downside in here as well. So that's something to bear in mind, and that could be the level to look for that. We'll see. The price respected quite nicely this demand zone now. Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen in here. But I would prefer as well to see it going a little bit closer to here eventually. Yeah, but valid reaction, really good reaction from that level today. The other Aussie pairs, we're looking at the Euro Aussie, which continues to go down. Kind of we broke that level, looking for price to get a little bit closer to that zone. Yeah, perhaps I still like that level. Again, that's where I was looking to look for a short. Price never got there, unfortunately. Yeah, and then somewhere around this level as well could potentially look for. Now price is in the middle, so I want to see price getting closer to the extremes before looking for anything in here. On Euro Aussie and T Pound Aussie, it's kind of the same, even though we may go all the way and fake out these highs as well. Again, depending on tomorrow morning what the pound's going to do with the news, but you could fake out and go to the downside, or perhaps react from this level and just continue to move to the upside in here. Right, so it's another one that's a bit in the middle, I think. Aussie yen. No, this is Aussie dollar, sorry. Aussie yen is getting slowly closer to this high, so that's interesting. Again, price can even go slightly higher, to be honest. We did manage to break this level, but to respect it straight away the demand zone, as we mentioned. I do like the engulf to downside in here. I do like the approach that price is taking in terms of this compression, and then eventually need to break some structure as well. All right, so again, it's one to follow. I think there's a little bit of a gap still in there above this high, so that's a level that potentially could react from. Otherwise, price could go even a little bit more, fake out the highs one more time, right? In here, so that's something to keep an eye on. Potentially we can have a turn in here. I'm still waiting a little bit for price to get to the highs. We do have now this level as a reference, that needs eventually to be broken if price does want to go down. So that's the key level at this point in here. If we start breaking below this level and then kind of go higher a little bit more, then that could be the DPI. Eventually look for a potential price to get closer to this level in here, right? But at this point, yes, this structure needs to be broken on the AUD. Then you have dollar yen, which managed to break those highs, so continue to move to the upside, getting a little bit closer to that level. That has been a little bit also a structure that we have been looking for. So that's what we're going to continue to track in here on the dollar yen. We'll see how price may react from that level. If not from there, then you're looking into the next structure in here on the from the left side. So yeah, just let it continue to go a bit more and then you'll see what's going to happen. But perhaps there's some reaction to be expected from this level. And then euro yen, euro yen is still respected the high, so kind of created that double top. Maybe the likelihood is that it's going to break it. It came all the way down in here, respected perfectly the demand zone. So that was really nice, a really nice reaction from that level. Basically feel the spice in there. Kind of created literally a lot of structure in there. For some reason didn't manage to break it. And now, now it's in the middle. So again, the bias doesn't really change. There's potentially even a fake out that can happen here and more sell pressure to happen within this high. Otherwise, we are going to be looking for price to go a little bit higher. I was looking already for some structures around this level. This is basically what I saw in there. That's potentially fresh. So that could be some of the levels that price could react from after faking out this high. So that's a potential zone in there. Now, we did manage to break below these lows. Eventually, I would like to see price also getting a little bit closer to this level. So let's see when that's going to happen, or if it's going to happen in here. All right, so yeah, we're literally now within this structure. This is a really nice reaction from this low in here. And yeah, perhaps we can even have something in here that price can hold one more time as well. Yeah, so that's something to bear in mind in here on the euro yen. Pound yen actually started to break a little bit more of this structure, and the target is definitely that high. Again, price respected perfectly this level. It's been compressing, and yeah, the move can still continue to go a bit more in here and continue this bullish momentum that we have. So we'll see what's going to happen in here. If it's going to create some momentum like that or not. Yeah, that's just something to keep an eye on. It looks like it's going to continue to go higher. Yeah, still respecting the structure in here. Basically, a really strong compression. That's nice to see, but yeah, no breaks to the opposite structure, no breaks to the downside, so just continues to go. So let it go. Let it go. Not going to really fight it at this point. Again, price is reacting from this level. It can even go higher a little bit, can even go there, and eventually can even go there. That's maybe a little bit of a better level to look for a bigger short in here. It's actually now I'm into this left shoulder. Yep, so we can keep tracking this one as well. Again, tomorrow with the news, maybe can have a little bit more volatility in there as well. And then we go into, you can look at CAD yen as well. So CAD yen is another one that is getting closer to this level, and you have that one as well. So you're kind of still respecting this level in there. This low broke the structure. So yeah, CAD yen, I do like the idea of potentially looking for shorts. I like also a little bit of where price is reacting in there. So we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see and to follow this one. So I'm looking for potentially, I don't really want to trade it in here. I would prefer to look for that in there, but I do like this compression as well. So eventually you can even just react from here and move to downside eventually to go somewhere into that level. Looking at CAD pairs, and tomorrow we have CPI, right? So the CAD, another big momentum to the downside, price retested and now kind of trading within this structure. Now it reacted actually from the level that we talked about, right? There was a zone in here that we were looking for, but potentially I'm actually more looking for this daily wick All right, that's a little bit of the level that I'm looking for, and eventually even towards that level, I think that's eventually we're going to break, or eventually turn in here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, basically 9 bullish candles in a row. It's basically 2 weeks in a row just moving in one direction. Dollar CAD is quite at the extremes to the highs. Like if you had an RSI in here, most likely you see a strong overbought move. So there's going to be, and you start seeing some sell pressure in here, but it's not really managing to continue to break. Right, so we have a few lows in here, we have another low being broken, so that's nice to see, and eventually you can look for a good target, right, for a good reaction. This is one of them. Okay, this is one of the zones in here, and then this one already breaks the low, and you can even look for a bigger move. So it's just about being patient, and tomorrow definitely I'm going to be looking for, continue to track for shorts in here on the dollar CAD and CAD pairs. I think there's a great risk reward that you can capitalize on it. Again, you need to be patient, you need to know exactly what you are looking for before taking those trades as well. But I do believe there's going to be some good volatility, some good opportunity in here on the dollar CAD to look for. Again, that's basically that daily level that we talked about. Price is reacting from here. Potentially we can even feel all of that. We can go a little bit into the war time frame. Price is reacting from that zone. That sounds good to me. And maybe this one is nothing special. That's the problem. Nothing really here stands out to me as a good level. Straight away, yes, this level is fresh. Price just pausing there. So that potentially could be a zone in here, and this level also could be. Like this one was fresh. Price already reacted from it today. Yeah, this level, I really like this level. Like eventually price could go all the way until here and pick out this high and pick out this high and react from somewhere in there, but that's for the future in here. But yes, dollar CAD definitely something to keep an eye on. Then we have the other CAD pairs, and we look at Euro CAD. This was a great move, and you see that today we had a little bit more weakness on the euro comparing with the pound. That was a really great move, respected double top in there, and they start turning again another big compression. So that's interesting. Again, there's maybe even a potential reaction from there again. This was a good move in here on the euro CAD. Yeah, we'll see. Potentially can respect some of the structure and push to the upside again. Now we have reached double top in there as well. So eventually price could go even higher, but on intraday, this was actually one of the potential best moves that happened in today's session in here. Pound CAD didn't react as good as that one. Actually, is about to break the highs again. Again, you can literally see that the pound has been a little bit more bullish than the euro just by looking at the pound Aussie, pound CAD, even pound dollar, and so on. So again, you did manage to break that low, so that's another low that is being broken. You can see a lot of compression here, but pound CAD could continue to go slightly higher before we have the bigger turn. So you can even aim perhaps towards a little bit of that structure in there. Yeah, meanwhile, perhaps you can have a retracement and then go higher. Yeah, nice little move in here as well on the pound CAD. And tomorrow again with the news, maybe can have good opportunities in here. So we'll see what's going to happen. Dollar franc Swiss, those dollar franc Swiss have been bullish, so price basically just continue to move to the upside. Again, breaking trend line, breaking these levels, are looking for dollar franc Swiss to get a little bit closer to that level. So at this point, with any trend continuation setup, you can look for that. And then you have gold that made another leg up, still respecting that level, now respecting this demand zone. So you see if it's going to hold or not. Continue to push the upside from here, or if you start breaking this level, perhaps you can go all the way back again. So interesting enough price respected this zone, and then you can even have that one at the extreme in there as well. And then you have silver, which opened with a big gap, protested. Yeah, not really sure what to expect now. In here is in the middle. I want to look for price to get to the extremes in here. So not really touching it. And then we have, just to conclude, we have oil in here, which opened as well with a big gap. It engulfed that level to the upside. Again, I want to see price on oil getting a bit close to the extremes as well. I don't really want to trade anything in here in the middle. That could be one of them, and then the extreme in here as well could be the other one, and then that one as well. And that's basically oil and Brent doing exactly the same thing, and that's something that I want to pay attention to. Yeah, not that interested in here in the middle, to be honest. in there. Yeah, so to conclude, in terms of what we looked at today during this pre-market analysis during the live stream and the preparation for tomorrow's trading session, is that we continue to see more momentum on the dollar, even though it's in a lot of compression. We have seen many bullish daily candles in a row on the dollar, and I'm expecting a little bit of a retracement. All right, so this week, looking at the news, we don't really have anything relevant for the dollar until Thursday, when you have retail sales and unemployment claims. It's going to be more of UK data being released this week. We have unemployment tomorrow, CPI on Wednesday, then we have retail sales on Friday, and then we have also ECB releasing another interest rate, expecting another 25 basis cut from the ECB. That's going to be on Thursday, and that's the biggest catalyst of the week, which means that's not going to be dollar related. We can actually have some opportunities and some divergence between the euro and the pound, which can actually lead to a good potential setup, a long setup on the euro pound. Now looking at the dollar, I'm looking eventually for price to turn. It may not be from here. This is just a target that I'm looking for, is for price to fill out this price until it gets there. And then when you're looking at euro dollar, pound dollar, and so on, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be opportunities to look for longs. Another asset that I'm tracking is going to be Canada and the Canada pairs, so US CAD, Euro CAD, Pound CAD, and so on, which tomorrow we have CPI. So there's going to be some interesting volatility as well to expect from there. And we have at this point 9 bullish daily candles, consecutive bullish daily candles on the dollar CAD, which means I'm going to be looking for price to look for a retracement. Price is getting closer to an interesting level on the left side in the higher time frame, and it has been compressing quite a lot, breaking some lows, but still managing to continue to break new highs. And that for me is a sign of weakness, and I'm expecting also a potential good retracement on the dollar CAD and other CAD pairs. In terms of gold, silver, not really touching it at this point. Oil as well continues to be in the middle. I don't really look at it. In terms of the US indices, we have a big momentum to the upside. So today was bank holiday in the US. We're expecting a little bit of less volatility, and sometimes when this happens, we can actually see big momentum because there's not many people fighting for orders. If there are big orders being placed in the market, then we see big candles being printed in the market. And there you go. We had S&P 500 breaking new all-time highs, or continue this bullish momentum. We have Nasdaq getting really close as well to the all-time highs from July. So we'll see how price is going to react from that structure on the left side. And you have Dow Jones as well breaking out new all-time highs, and even DAX as well, right? So this is something that pay attention to. Is this going to create momentum, or price is going to just come back into the structure again? So that's it. Looking, again, not really forcing any sales on US indices, looking for potential turns on the dollar, which as a consequence on euro dollar, pound dollar, and so on. And also looking for potential long on euro pound as price gets closer to that demand zone. And also CAD pairs are going to be my focus for tomorrow. With that being said, guys, thank you very much. If you got any value, feel free to subscribe. Again, I stream every day at 7 p.m. Feel free to join, feel free to share, and to tell me what kind of pairs you are looking for, because we can analyze the market together. Thank you. Obrigado. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.